1. China warns India, says it will intervene if New Delhi incites trouble in Baluchistan. GS Paper 2, India and its neighbors. Chinese think tank has warned India that China will have to get involved if any Indian plot disrupts the $46 billion China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. What are the concerns for China with respect to India? Prime Minister Narendra Modi's reference to Baluchistan in his Independence Day speech is the latest concern for China. China is more worried because this is for the first time India has mentioned Baluchistan. China fears India may use anti-government elements in Pakistan's rest of Baluchistan, where Beijing is building the $46 billion CPEC, a key to the success of its ambitious One Road One Belt project. India has strongly opposed the corridor as it will pass through Gilgit-Baltistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, which it claims as its own. Growing India-US relations are ringing alarm bells for China. In the past, China was not so much concerned about India's security cooperation with other countries, especially with the US. But now Chinese scholars can feel the concern. The defense cooperation between New Delhi and Washington had increased significantly after Modi took over as Prime Minister. Now India and US are ready to sign the Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, LEMOA. There is renewal of defense and technological cooperation between India and the US for another 10 years, enhancing the cooperation under the framework of DTTI, Defense Technology and Trade Initiative. Now the US and Japan, as well as Australia, are very keen on getting India in their camp to exert pressure on China. Hence, India's growing military ties with the US and its changed attitude on the disputed South China Sea are ringing alarm bells for China. About China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Project. The Chinese-designed One Belt One Road, OBOR, project will surely be a mega-changer for the economic and political future of the entire Eurasian region. OBOR aims to connect the Chinese mainland with Europe and Asia through a network of roads, rail and sea routes. An important part of the OBOR is the South Asia-bound land route connecting Kashgar and Xinjiang, Chinese Autonomous Region, with the Pakistan's Persian Gulf port of Gwadar. The Kashgar-Gwadar connectivity is bilaterally implemented as a part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Project, CEPC. The 3,000 kilometers long route comprising of rail and road networks and development of the Gwadar port by the Chinese has a project cost of $46 billion. What China gets from the project? On the economic front, China is the biggest beneficiary as the project gives it a shortcut to Indian Ocean, bypassing the Strait of Malacca. It can access the western part of the Indian Ocean in the most politically easiest way because of its friendly and strategic relationship with Pakistan. At present, China transports 80% of its oil through the Strait of Malacca. This can be deviated through the Pak route. On the political front, a decisive advantage for China is that Pakistan historically shows willingness to play the role of satellite state to major powers including the US. Because of the India factor, Pakistan will remain an ally of China even by surrendering several rights to Chinese economic and strategic interests. This means that among all the OBOR associate countries, Pakistan offers more strategic value to China. There is a future option for Beijing to retain a significant army in Pakistan in the pretext of providing security to the CPEC. What the project means for Pakistan. The project is described as a game changer for Pakistan's economic future, which otherwise has only meager prospects to develop its economy. Pakistan's economy can get a rejuvenation due to Chinese investment. If Pakistan is able to overcome its security problems, the CPEC can be a game changer. At the same time, the benefit it can get from being a transit country for Chinese goods depends upon its ability to change itself by achieve industrial progress. Pakistan can get an opportunity to develop its infrastructure, especially energy. Bulk of the CPEC is aimed to develop Pakistan's energy sector, including the construction of the largest solar energy plant in the world. China will help Pakistan to develop its resource-based industries so that they can be exported to China. Another advantage of the project is that with the potential economic decline of the Gulf states, Pakistan as a natural resource exporter can sell its commodities to the lucrative Chinese markets through the CPEC transit route. What the project means for India. India is the third party on which the CPEC impacts a lot of intangible and indirect effects. Given the political synergy between China and Pakistan, the CPEC will be a disguised political disturbance for India. Its strategic content is high and capable of restricting New Delhi's maneuverability in the region. In an extreme scenario, Pakistan may act as a rented house for Chinese military. The project goes through the disputed Pak-occupied Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, is a nuisance for India. Already, CPEC is getting lot of attention because of the direct involvement of the Pakistani military at the insistence of the Chinese leadership. In future, the Indo-Iran alliance for a geographic connectivity with Central Asia partnering Afghanistan will continue, but without hurting both Beijing and Islamabad. Why India needs to maintain good relations with China. Ties with China is also essential to any grand strategy premised on connectedness. China ranks as the top trade partner of more than 120 countries in the world, double the number for the US, 56, and far higher than for India, only 1. Even as India seeks to boost trade relations with countries along the Indian Ocean periphery, it must remain focused on improving its trade balance with China through higher value-added exports, while also attracting ever more FDI from China into power, transportation and other sectors.